Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Mixed Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Alex. Let's get started. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of the Mixed Bag Podcast. Anything and everything that has to do with audio production, albums, any projects that a well-known artist is going to come out with. But also, we can talk about any live experiences, just like this specific episode is going to be about, or any projects that I've come up with, and also maybe even talk about some of the experience and some of the things that I've been seeing at the studio. So if there's any artists that I find over there at the studio, and then maybe we can do a collab, or maybe I'm just giving them a quick vocal. Either way, I want to talk about that and go in depth and just kind of, expand on any ideas or something that, I've never seen before. So that being said, any artists that I might work with, do any collaboration work at the studio, I want to talk about that in depth, maybe even expand their ideas that they want to talk about, and just see where we can go from there, and just get the ideas flowing, really. Just have those creative juices just flowing. Don't think about it too much. So for this specific episode, what I wanted to talk about was a live experience that I had, and I'm talking specifically about Gold Rush. Now, Gold Rush, it's been already a few weeks. I'm already past that, and either way, it doesn't matter. I wanted to be able to talk about that because there was a specific set at the main stage, and it was really entertaining because it was a live performance. It was more than one instrument, but specifically it was the drums that took away everything. Here it's at the local raves. I had been so used to going to Rawhide, which is out in Chandler, Arizona, and it's a pretty dope venue. It's outside as well. And you can have a secondary stage inside the warehouse, so then you can have multiple sets going on at the same time. So it was really cool to experience that. So now they switched it up, and it's at the Phoenix Raceway and going more west, which is pretty funny because I had just moved from there, and now I'm closer to downtown over here. All the big events now, they might be moving them out to that direction, which is just funny, but whatever, what can you do? Now, it was pretty cool because the way they had it set it up was you enter to the side of the Phoenix Raceway, but it's not like EDC. It's not the Electrical Daisy Carnival where it's inside the raceway of Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Speedway specifically. And it was just on the outside before you actually go into the raceway. So they had it outside the main stage. It's semi big. They had it to the left side. After you come in through the gates and security, you have the main stage, and then along to the wall, I guess you could say, of the speedway, then you have some of the merchandise, a good amount of like shirts, necklaces, bracelets, paintings and stuff. I think they had all kinds of stuff, obviously, for merch. Then you go along that, and a little mini warehouse onto the side. And then you have like another kind of stage that's, I guess you had to buy like an extra ticket, like VIP. And I was kind of jealous. Normally I'd be like, whatever, it is what it is. But they had a DJ or a producer playing inside that. And the only reason I was kind of jealous is because it was kind of like Latin. And, that thing's pretty cool because, I don't know, I kind of feel like with the Latin EDM, like there's more of a little dancing vibe. It's, everybody has different tastes and whatnot, but I don't know. It sounded really cool from what I could tell. And that was only a little bit of jealousy that I had. Like, other than that, you could like kind of see everybody else going in. So then, so the opposite to that was the warehouse, a mini warehouse. And that one was interesting because we're talking about before Halloween hits. And that one, for some whatever reason, it felt like a Halloween party. And you walked in there and you just see the costumes and whatnot. Those, I mean, that little warehouse, I was so used to that being a local type of rave. And, it was dark ass room. The air conditioning was so nice. It was freaking hot outside. It still felt kind of warm. And then you have everybody in there. So then you had another little DJ playing in there. And that was, kind of cool, like 90s kind of style. So then you get out of there and you keep walking along to the sides. And then you have the food court, which was nice. And then you have all the water like that's available. Opposite to the food court was the secondary stage. And it was the second big one, I guess you could say. And that one was cool. The performances that I remember, or the DJs that I had recognized were AT-Alien, which was good. I liked that one. It was really fucking good. And then after him, it was Slushy. And Slushy was cool. At Slushy, I had heard some of his music before, and that one was good. I enjoyed that one, actually. So now come to the main point. At the main stage, their performance, it was like heavy rock mixed EDM. It's obviously different when you're hearing a performance. So you're hearing like a set in person live. So then having like a drummer being on the side of the producer and then playing the music, it was crazy. Like I had never seen that before. And it was good. It was cool. Like I hadn't heard rock EDM style in a while, and it was freaking great. But him hitting the drums, man, I mean, it just like sounded so good, and it sounded so loud. It went along with the beats, obviously, and it just sounded so cool. Like you could tell like the performance, and sometimes they would drop the levels down so that way you would only really hear the drummer like going off. So maybe I'm naive. You guys can let me know. I haven't seen like really a live performance using drummers just like live like that and really going off on an EDM, like on a rave performance, sort of like a set like that. You let me know. I haven't seen that. Maybe I'm just out of the loop, which is cool because then that makes me want to go check out some of the more spots here, like say downtown or somewhere else. So that got me thinking, you know what other type of instruments could you use that would really showcase itself in that manner, that the way the drums did? Now, the drums, it's loud. It's, it can be raw. You hear it. And, it obviously, it doesn't have to be rock necessarily for you to use drums. Obviously, it can be in any genre that you can think of that you can incorporate that. But I'd be interested to see what other instruments you could possibly use. And, you'd be surprised, like how it could sound. I was definitely surprised. I was surprised to really hear those drums being played and just making an effort to really have the sound of the hits, like being hit on the snare. Like, he's going back and forth on the toms, and then you're going to the drums, to the kick, to the snare. You could really hear that, and it was awesome, man. Like, they took the time to make sure, like, we're gonna go up to these levels and really hear it in the mix, and that way you can really hear it during the stage performance. And it was awesome. I really liked it. Like drums incorporated that way. If you know the Israeli duo Infected Mushroom, if you're into EDM, obviously you hear their music. That those guys, you can find that on YouTube, and they have a little performance inside a studio though, and they're using drums and they're playing along with the music. But that's, of course, in the studio. I mean, the same way you would watch a movie at home, it's not the same feeling when you're going to a big screen and you got the popcorn, you got the whole environment of people around you. It's it's a different vibe. It's a different atmosphere to feel. I wanted to be able to express the fact that it was my first time seeing that. And I thought it was such a great idea that you could really go ahead and go forward with that. And maybe someone can be inspired to do some other performance using a different instrument. Now, if you're doing drums, as I said before, it doesn't have to be a rock, but damn, like it was good, man. It was cool, especially if you're someone that really like listens to mixes of music and you went to school for audio production and it's what you would say as sonically pleasing. It was some little like, it was like a cherry on top of the Sunday for me. It was so unexpected. It really worked out and it was awesome. And, hopefully maybe I can see that in another, maybe a rave or something else. It was a DJ set and then they're doing the live thing. The guitar, it's expected. That was cool and that was nice. But the drums, it was just the first time for me. If it's inside the warehouse of the Van Buren, let's say, or it's it's like in a little venue, somewhere else. I'm just saying it was completely different. You're out in the open of the Phoenix Speedway. So it was interesting. It was interesting. So to close it off, I just wanted to say that little experience, it was so worth it. Thank you again to my friend for inviting me. Definitely going to do that again. Hopefully there's more raves before the end of the year. Maybe I can check it out. Catch the podcast again on any of the free streaming services such as Anchor or Podbean. And until the next time, thank you.